Do you stand by those comments, Senator Hagel?
Well, Senator, I stand by them because I made them. And
were you right? Were you correct in your assessment?
Well, I would defer to the judgment of history to put that out. But
the committee deserves your judgment as to whether you were right or wrong about the surge.
I'll explain why I made those comments. And
I want to know if you were right or wrong. That's a direct question. I expect a direct answer.
The surge assisted in the objective, but if we review the record a little bit.
Will you please answer the question? Were you correct or incorrect when you said that the surge would be the most dangerous foreign policy blunder in this country since Vietnam? Were you correct or incorrect? Yes or no?
My reference to the surge being the most dangerous.
Senator Hagel, the question is, were you right or wrong? That's a pretty straightforward question.
Well,
I would like to answer whether you were right or wrong, and then you are free to elaborate.
Well, I'm not going to give you a yes or no answer on a lot of things.
Show that you refuse to answer that question. Now, please go ahead.
Well, if you would like me to explain why.
I actually would like an answer, yes or no.
Well, I'm not going to give you a yes or no. I think it's far more complicated than that. As I've already said, my answer is I'll defer that judgment to history. As to the comment I made about the most dangerous foreign policy decision since Vietnam was about not just the surge, but the overall war of choice going into Iraq. That particular decision that was made on the surge, but more to the point, our war in Iraq, I think was the most fundamentally bad, dangerous decision since Vietnam. Aside from the costs that occurred in this country to blood and treasure, aside what that did to take our focus off of Afghanistan, which in fact was the original and real focus of a national threat to this country. Iraq was not. I always tried to frame all of the different issues before I made a decision on anything. Now, just as you said, Senator, we can have differences of opinion, but that's essentially why I took the position I did.
It's a fundamental difference of opinion, Senator Hagel. And Senator Graham and I and Senator Lieberman, when there were 59 votes in the United States Senate, spent our time trying to prevent that 60th. Thank God for Senator Lieberman. I think history has already made a judgment about the surge, sir, and you're on the wrong side of it. And your refusal to answer whether you were right or wrong about it is going to have an impact on my judgment as to whether to vote for your confirmation or not. I hope you will reconsider the fact that you refused to answer a fundamental question about an issue that took the lives of thousands of young Americans.
Well, Senator, there was more to it than just flooding.
I'm asking about the surge, Senator Hagel.
I know you are, and I'm trying to explain my position. The beginning of the surge also factored in what General Allen had put into place in Anbar province, the Sunni awakening. We put over, as you know, 100,000 young
Senator Hagel, I'm very aware of the history of the surge and the Anbar awakening, and I also am aware that a casual observer will know that the surge was the fundamental factor led by two great leaders, General Petraeus and Ambassador.
Well, I don't know if that would have been required and cost us over 1,000 American lives and thousands of wounded.
So you don't know if the surge would have been required. Okay. Senator Hagel, let me go to Syria now. More than 60,000 people have been killed in Syria. Do you believe that we should be more engaged in Syria?
I know this administration is very engaged in working with its partners.
So you don't think we should do more?
Well, when you say do more, do you mean...
You think we should make sure that the Syrians get the weapons they need and perhaps establish a no-fly zone? Do you think we do?
I believe that part of our review is looking at those options.
It's been 22 months, Senator Hagel.
Well, I wasn't there. I don't know the details. I'm not there now.
I'm sure you've read in the newspapers that 60,000 people have been killed and that it's in danger of spilling over into neighboring countries. My question, I guess, is how many more would have to die before you would support arming the resistance and establishing a no-fly zone.
Well, I don't think anyone questions the terrible tragedy that is occurring there every day. It's a matter of how best do we work our way through this so that we can stop it to begin with. And then what comes next? I think the President's been pretty clear on this.
Did you disagree with President Obama on his decision for the surge in Afghanistan?
I didn't think that we should get ourselves into. First of all, I had no original position as far as no formal position.
Well,
but I didn't think we were.
You were quoted in August 29, 2011, saying, "I disagreed with President Obama and his decision to surge in Afghanistan."
That was my personal opinion. Yes.
I thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.